Hey everyone, and welcome to Let Me Ask You This. I'm your host, Scott J. Carroll. It's Thanksgiving!
Happy Thanksgiving!
Gobble gobble!
It's Thanksgiving, and I wanted to sit down with the people that I call my friends and ask them some wonderful Thanksgiving questions.
It's a shame we won't give you wonderful answers.
I know. Just like every Thanksgiving, we do have some noisy neighbors, so if you hear some extra noise, just blame the people behind us here. But joining me this week, we have Christy is back. Christy is over here with Alan, and Angel is once again with Tom.
Hi.
And I gathered some wonderful Thanksgiving questions that I wanted to just talk with you guys about. So why don't we just get right into this? And we're actually opening the show with a two-part question.
There is a Santa Claus? Oh, wait,
No,
there's
there's no sanity
soon.
clause. There's no sanity
No
clause.
Sanity Claus?
No
Okay,
sanity clause.
okay. Got
Sorry,
it.
Chris Kringle, maybe, but no.
Got it.
So we are opening the show with a rare two-parter question on the show. So first part of this question is, do not cheat! Remove points from this man!
I wasn't cheating.
It's the only way they're
You were
going
trying to read the cards!
No glasses.
Yeah, no class either.
Oh,
Beside the point entirely.
So,
2 points out of that.
yep.
Gryffindor.
Can I switch teams?
No.
no. You're set. You're stuck. So, who
She's such a
hosted...
Hufflepuff. Yeah.
Who hosted the first Thanksgiving Day parade?
Macy's.
I know this one.
Them.
Yeah.
Macy's.
Was it
Well,
Macy's?
No, it wasn't Macy's. It was actually Goldsmiths. It was them who actually started it back in the day.
Are you sure that's who it was?
Before them, because Goldsmiths was named by somebody else before it was Goldsmiths, and then they turned to Macy's.
So the first Thanksgiving Day parade was not held by Macy's. Macy's
How long
parade,
ago was it?
So the Macy's parade, the first
1960.
Macy's parade was held in 1924.
Oh, 24.
When was the first parade?
1920. It was held in Philly,
Oh,
and it wasn't by Macy's, it was by Gimbel's.
Gimbals. Gotcha.
And then New York just blatantly stole it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, yes, just like
Everything else New York does.
Gimbel's went the way of,
Well, just like down in Louisiana where we have Mardi Gras that started over in Alabama first.
Yes.
It did start in Mobile first.
Yes.
But New Orleans kind of. Anyway, we're not gonna get down. We're not going down that road right now.
No, we're not.
But this was a two-part question, so we start off with who
Gimbels.
hosted first parade. But you're right. New York took it, Macy's took it, and they just ran with it and made a big, massive event.
Yes.
So the follow-up question to that is, what event did the Macy's parade overtake, which made children sad?
Well, the original parade wasn't a Thanksgiving parade at all.
No.
It was the Macy's Christmas Day, Christmas season parade to open the Christmas season.
Yeah, that did happen, but that's
The
not
first,
what we're
the
talking
was
about.
not considered Thanksgiving at all.
This was when Thanksgiving was officially declared a holiday. There was something that children around New York did.
Mug everybody?
Yes, they burn cards.
No, it had,
You're on the right track, but it was a polite mugging. See, there was a thing.
A polite mugging?
Pardon me, do you have any great ball?
I'm just thinking it had to do something with, it couldn't have been anything with the tree or decorating.
No,
or,
it had nothing to do
charity
with Christmas. It wasn't a charity. Well, kind of.
Salvation Army?
It was
No.
an involuntary charity.
No.
Yeah.
Well, so what
Something
was
with Santa Claus?
nothing with
mugging.
Santa?
No.
Okay, wait, mugging would be like maybe with chocolate, like a mug, like
No, it's
no.
like give me money.
Oh,
It was
wait,
definitely give me money.
So give me-
So there was a thing that was happening in New York called
Pauper Begging Day.
yes,
There we go.
it was
Any day.
called Ragamuffin Day.
Yes, there was. Okay, I did. I was. Yeah.
It was
yes.
right there. Yeah,
All right.
Ragamuffin Day.
Yes.
was a thing in New
It was
York.
the Pauper Day.
Children would
Right.
dress up like homeless people, and they would go door to door, and they would beg for money or treats or anything like that. And that occurred every year on Thanksgiving when it was declared a holiday, until Macy's Parade came along.
Oh.
Macy's Parade overtook everything, and Ragamuffin Day ended up moving, oddly enough, to October 31st,
Halloween.
which morphed into trick or treating around New York.
So Oliver basically couldn't go back and say, "Please, sir, I want some more."
So they took second Halloween away from them.
Right.
They weren't really doing first Halloween.
What was wrong with them?
A lot of things.
But you know,
Okay,
actually, I
New
was
So
going to
York.
say,
second Halloween
well,
turns in first Halloween.
well, while you were
Apparently,
talking
yeah.
about that, I thought it was interesting because in the Catholic faith, the whole idea of trick or treating was that they would the Catholics would go to door and say prayers for those of the newly deceased people, those and possibly in purgatory, and in return they would get what was called soul cakes, hence the treat. So you get a soul cake for giving the prayer because it was a 3-day holiday, which became
That's
Yeah,
nicer
yeah,
than mugging. Yeah. It's like-
And there's usually a lot of alcohol involved too. So
oh well, yeah. But yeah, so Macy's Parade did actually cause trick or treating in New York, which was a weird.
But it wasn't always called
fun way to
Macy's.
do
It was the Goldsmiths. Macy's.
No.
It was always Macy's. But
It was
Macy's
Macy's.
and Goldsmiths are now married.
Oh, that was way,
Yeah.
That was-
way later. That was
Yeah.
in the 90s.
because
Okay.
Goldsmiths were actually the family.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Got it.
All right, we're all clear.
As Bud.
Well, you know,
As turkey gravy.
Yeah. Well, speaking of
drink
that,
that.
Turkey gravy?
my next question for you guys is, how did a Thanksgiving mistake change how America saw dinner?
Are we talking about the stuffing versus the
No,
We're going to be
No.
talking about like an advertising or commercial mistake.
that we are.
Oh, I remember the story. I just don't remember the context of it. It was...
You have to go back in time.
Yes, you got to set the Wayback Machine to print.
We have to go back in
We
time.
were pre-television for this. Yes.
We were in 1953
We're on
Oh,
the
so we're-
cusp.
when this
Yeah, we're on the cusp.
mistake
Yeah.
happened.
The nasty cranberry jelly.
That's what I
No.
was thinking.
Okay,
No.
No.
just making sure because that's just disgusting.
So I was thinking the stuffing versus the corn, like the making of the dressing.
So I'll
versus
give you guys.
stuffing.
it has nothing to do with side dishes.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Has to
so
do with the
something about
turkey?
turkey.
It has to do with the turkey.
Oh, was it about this?
The pop-up timer.
No,
Thinking about that.
That wasn't until the 70s.
Yeah, I know, but yeah.
in the 50s, something to do with the turkey.
A mistake in
there was a mistake. A mistake occurred in the 50s that revolutionized the dinner industry, and it has to do with Thanksgiving.
Turkey legs?
it wouldn't have anything to do with like
No, I think,
Aluminum foil packs that you become frozen.
well, that was Swanson dinners.
And you
like I
guys,
think
And
not TV
that's
dinners,
about the
was it?
time that stuff started coming out.
it was
Yes.
TV dinners.
It
Yeah.
was TV dinner.
It was TV
Yeah,
dinners.
TV dinner. Huh?
So in 1953,
Oh, okay.
Swanson was ordering turkeys for the year, and they accidentally ordered 260 tons of turkey.
Alrighty.
Let's give them the bird, guys.
The people who've worked in restaurants in this room all just went,
God.
that was a mistake. So they didn't know what to do. They
As
had
the fleet of trucks pulled in,
they had all of this extra bird that they had to sell.
you think?
Yeah.
There was a salesman
They
named
needed a proofreader on their orders.
There was a salesman named Jerry Thomas, and he had just come back from a trip, and he had gotten an in-flight meal where everything had been frozen and pre-packed and heated up on the flight. So he took that idea and he said, "Why don't we do this?" They took turkey, they took some side dishes and stuff, they packed it all in a foil tin, froze it, and sold the first frozen TV dinner for 89 cents. Now, that's 1953 cents.
Yeah.
Right.
How much do you think that is today?
$6.50. $10. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's $9.
Yeah, I was going to say it's about
Yeah,
10 bucks.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's about, which is insane for a frozen dinner.
Yeah.
But that
Yeah,
revolutionized
because I
it.
remember Swanson's frozen dinners being like $1.50 in the 70s. So,
Really?
yeah.
Well, this was a full Thanksgiving.
It was a full.
It was the
to
one
do.
with the 4 compartments in it, not the 3 compartments. Yeah. It had dessert.
This was the Hungry Man special. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
With
Oh,
the
do you
extra
remember those
turkey,
old
because
ones
we
with
got
the kid
plenty to go
ones? They would
through.
do the Dunkin', like the kid packs that had like the kangaroo or something on it.
Oh, the
too.
KC. The penguin was on it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I always ate the brownie and almost nothing else because everything else was basically unpalatable. But
Why am I suddenly getting a ZZ Top song?
You know.
you know,
As long as the sauce ain't too blue. All right, here we go.
we'll walk away from that.
Moving along.
But yeah, moving on. So
Jeez.
we're still talking about food. We're in the middle of our Thanksgiving feast here. So what food can
love
you
the food.
eat to help get rid of a UTI?
Cranberries.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Cranberries help.
Is it cranberries?
It is the
Yeah.
time-honored. It is the time-honored.
So
But it is probably
Oranges
citrus.
within the
It's anything
cranberry.
citrus.
Well, you get cranberries. You can use thyme. Rosemary would help.
So yes, anybody who doesn't know, a UTI is a urinary tract infection, and
For those of you who don't know, surprise.
yeah,
They hurt.
traditionally everybody says drink or eat cranberries to help get rid of the
Yeah.
infection.
But
So-
it's actually a chemical within the cranberry that
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
And it's either with an R or a P. I forget what it's called. I've seen it before.
I have
It's
it.
probably got
on
it
the card.
written down. Yeah.
It's
You probably have it written down.
yes.
You do
What is it, Scott?
So
It's with an R.
there's an R in it.
You start. You're close.
So the chemical in cranberries that helps fight urinary tract infections is called proanthocyanidins.
I was right with the P. I knew P. Okay, cool.
Well,
You said R.
there's a lot of stuff with P involved. So this chemical helps fight the UTI, and it is found in cranberries, but it is found in other foods as well. The same amount of it in cranberries can be found in both Red Delicious and Granny Smith apples.
Didn't
But-
know that.
Hey, an apple a day keeps
Keeps
the
the
doctor
doctor
away.
away.
Yes.
But if you were to eat unsweetened baking chocolate, you would get 27 times the amount of the proanthocyanidins than you would in cranberries. And if you were to eat dried grape seeds, you would get 90 times the amount. So if you happen to get one of those, itchy burny owls, you've got choices.
So chocolate covered grape seeds.
There you go.
All right, then you're
I
set.
mean, you got
Powderized grape seeds.
And
Yeah,
if cranberries are out of season, the baking chocolate's always there at the
Well,
store.
you get the baking chocolate. You can powder up the grape seeds, and you can put cranberries in it. Just go for it, man. It's
A
good.
chocolate covered cranberry.
Yeah.
Granulated.
You'll be clean in a day.
And you can roll the chocolate in the grape seeds.
Yeah. You do
Yes,
too.
you can make little
Truffles.
UTI balls.
Yeah.
UTI balls. Balls for your UTI. Okay, anyway.
So
Moving on.
moving on. Whenever dinner is done and the turkey's been carved up, what is that one piece of the turkey that we always keep?
The wishbone.
The
The
wishbone.
giblets, I guess.
So
No, they were in the gravy.
no, yeah, we always keep the wishbone, and we always know the tradition of you break the wishbone and whoever gets the bigger piece. Where did that tradition come from?
Oh, I knew
The
the
turkey's
answer.
ex-wife.
Is it from the dressing? I'm joking.
I knew that answer, and I can't remember
Oh, yeah,
it.
wishbone dressing for your salad.
It came from the Romans.
We actually have to go pre-Roman.
Uh-huh.
We have to go.
We're going way back.
To the
Etruscan.
dinosaurs.
We are at the Etruscans.
We're at the Etruscans.
We are at
Because
the
they were
Etruscans.
some freaks.
So
You know why you don't have the traveling Etruscan art exhibit? There's a reason.
Yeah.
So the reason is we are at the Etruscans. The Etruscans practiced something called bird divination,
Yes.
where they would,
It's a
among
bad day to be a bird.
other things that they would do, they would have chickens peck at letters on the ground
Yeah.
to answer questions. And whenever the bird was killed, they would keep the wishbone. They would leave the wishbone out in the sun so that passersby could, rub the wishbone, ask a question, and one report said to share the oracle powers of the bird and make a wish with the wishbone.
All I have to say is the bird didn't see it coming. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. From there, the Romans did take on the tradition, and being Romans, they added their own flair to it.
Of course.
So instead of just gently touching the wishbone, they wrestled over it.
Of course they did.
Yeah.
Well, they had all that olive oil.
No.
You do something with it.
I'm still going back to the part where you said that the birds peck at it, because that's just like Ouija before Ouija.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
chicken
pretty
Ouija.
much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It was chicken Ouija.
It's awesome.
And then the Romans, they took it to Britain, and then Britain took it to America. And the modern version that we have is afterwards we let it dry for a day or two, and then we fight over the wishbone.
Oh, usually they
Or
just
better
break
yet,
it
you
right
just-
there.
Oh, no.
Dry, wait, dry,
Oh,
no.
no.
Oh, no. You
See,
soak that
no
sucker in
way.
vinegar for a week, and
There's
then
no
they can
way.
try and break the bloody thing.
There's
And watch
no
them
way.
wrestle over that for a while.
Yeah, no. It
It
becomes
won't
an
break
exercise
after that.
piece.
There's no way.
Then it becomes like a little tiny thigh master.
Yeah.
So
Squeeze it for your stress.
the vinegar.
It becomes a turkey stress reliever.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the vinegar itself works with the calcium in the bone, I think it is, and makes it.
Pliable.
Very pliable.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
But yeah, so the first mention of a wishbone in the States comes from a newspaper, Baltimore's The Sun newspaper in
Of course.
1842. But the tradition goes
Way back.
way.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And Reverend Mathers did not like that idea.
No.
No, because he could see it.
Yep.
He liked stuff he couldn't see.
Exactly.
And if anybody out there got that, man, you guys.
Well, at this point, it doesn't
I got
matter.
Oh.
Oh.
On that note,
What?
that takes us to the end of our first round.
Nice.
We have flown through the round one questions, which takes us to round two.
Turkeys don't fly very well.
No.
No.
Especially you got 12. Never mind.
I'm resisting the urge to
Wild turkeys fly.
start quoting WKRP. So
You know you gotta.
we are heading into round two. Round two is our bluff round. Before the show, I gave each of our panelists a card with a question on it. The question also has the correct answer. I then asked them to write 2 additional answers to try to bluff the other team. So, Angel, why don't you go first this week?
With her 15 answers.
Bloof. I was thinking of Claire.
I know.
Sorry, bluff. What percentage of people prefer leftovers to the actual Thanksgiving dinner?
Most of them.
60%, 70%, or 80%?
30 seconds.
I like all 3 numbers.
Yeah,
So,
into
so
that, 80, I guess. I don't know, 70, 80. I mean, you said
60.
most. I would agree.
at least 60. I'll
Yeah.
say 70. 70.
70.
Split the difference. 70.
70?
Sure.
Incorrect.
It was 80.
Yep.
Yep. Well, so there we
It's
go.
it's 80.
It
In
was
studies, they
80.
found
I said
that-
most of them.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
likes it
Yeah.
the next day.
Pretty
though.
much.
Oh, yeah.
because there's so much. There's I think part of it is it's quiet, and that just helps the meal digest a little bit better.
Well,
No,
and it always
nothing
tastes
is-
better the next day.
Yeah.
All the spices have settled
Yeah.
in, and
a
it's
little extra.
and that turkey sandwich is banging.
Oh,
the
that
next day.
sandwich.
Oh yeah,
So
especially
good.
when you use the dressing as as the bread. Oh yeah,
Oh, see, I
I
make
like
a
the idea
cranberry
of bubble
relish.
and sweet and squeak afterwards.
that works too.
But a lot of
Yeah.
people don't know how to make it. It's so funny. It's easy to do.
We will include the recipe in the video. So, Christy, why don't you go ahead and read your question?
All right. What is the least popular Thanksgiving side dish? Green bean casserole, candied yams, cranberry sauce.
The least popular? Reread the choices.
Green bean casserole, candied yams, or cranberry sauce?
You guys got about 20 seconds.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What do you think?
Well, green bean casserole takes a beating every year,
It
but
does.
personally, I hate cranberry. So
Well, it depends if it's fresh or the canned stuff.
no, it doesn't.
You guys
I'm
got
just
an
not a
answer?
cranberry person. I'm just not that sour.
The least favorite.
Uh-huh.
Candy jams?
You guys are at time.
Go for it.
You want to say that one more time? What was that?
Very specific. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, candy jams.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the worst blind running walk I have ever seen in my
Really blind. I
life.
was really hoping for that green bean casserole. I was really hoping.
It's not like yams either. So
Yeah,
the one on there I like is the green bean casserole.
I've never liked the candy.
Man, that was just too
Just because
lucky.
they're just.
I even said it in a way where I thought the green bean and the cranberry were going to be the two. Yeah.
Especially Jelly. Anyway. Who was the first video game character to have their balloon in the Macy's parade? Pikachu, Kirby, or Sonic?
It was definitely not Pikachu.
Actually,
It's way too late.
not Sonic, not Pikachu. What was the other one?
Kirby.
Kirby. That was the one. I'm pretty sure.
Kirby was early.
I'm pretty sure it was that one.
Go for it.
Kirby.
Nope.
It was
It was
Pikachu.
Sonic.
It was Sonic.
It was Sonic. Yep.
Sonic the Hedgehog was
Yep.
in fact the first video game character to have their balloon.
I'm not even sure Kirby made. I don't think they gave one to Kirby.
I don't think Kirby
They
has
did.
one.
They
Did
made
they?
one. They made a Kirby one. I remember seeing it.
Did they? Well, I haven't watched the Macy's in a while, so.
But Sonic was the first video
Sonic
game.
was the first.
Sonic was.
Well,
And
they were about the same time.
If you know
so-
Sonic's actual first name, I will give you bonus points. Alan.
You won't give it to us, but that's all right.
No.
Yeah, see?
What company has a helpline you can call for advice in cooking your turkey? Monsanto, Butterball, or Tyson?
Butterball.
Butterball.
I know because I have 500 commercials.
Yeah.
Call Butterball. If you left it in the freezer, you're going to the Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, pretty much.
Also, Monsanto.
It's like, really?
Somebody out there went, they sue everybody.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Also, if you left your turkey in the freezer, do not deep fry it. Just don't.
No.
All right. Let's talk.
Have you ever deep fried a turkey?
Yes,
Okay,
I have.
just asking.
Yes,
I know you're from up north, so.
I've been around. Anyway,
Does your wife know this?
who do you think writes the itinerary?
Oh,
So
oh, there you go.
that
Answer.
takes us to the end of our bluff round, and leads us on into our third and final round of the night.
Which is what that last question was.
Round 3, the questions get a little weirder, maybe a little more difficult, a little more fun. So, my first question for round 3 for the night: where did the Mayflower land when it got to America?
Well, as Eddie would say,
On
it
a
started
rock.
in Plymouth and
Plymouth
ended
Rock.
in Plymouth.
On a rock.
But that's what Eddie would say.
Yeah, no, it didn't. It didn't. There are 0 historical records or accounts to show that the Mayflower landed on Plymouth Rock.
Yeah.
Everything says is the tip of Cape Cod.
Right.
It
That's
didn't-
correct.
It didn't land.
They settled.
Now,
well,
did you? Now, now,
It
where did it
okay,
wind
all
up?
right, all
Where did
right.
it land?
Where did it wind up? It eventually wound
Became
up
a barn.
as a barn.
It's a barn.
It's a barn.
Yes.
When the ship reached America, it reached the tip of Cape Cod. They settled on a hill that was named Plymouth, but there is 0 historical evidence that there was any kind of rock involved. The first.
I didn't say rock. I said Plymouth.
I said Plymouth as well.
No, he did.
Oh, you guys did. We'll have to go to the replay on that one. Is the judge ready with the replay on that one?
No, the judge is ready with a pork rind.
Yeah. She really liked that.
I
pork
actually said, Eddie answered. He even said it. They started
She
in
said
Plymouth,
Plymouth,
and
yeah.
landed
You
in
did.
Plymouth.
Yeah.
You did. So the idea of Plymouth Rock comes from an account that was written by a 94-year-old man.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote this 120 years after it landed,
He wasn't even there at the time.
and he wasn't. He was told by his grandfather where it happened. His grandfather went out, pointed, and said, "Yeah, that's where it landed." And then he wrote that 90-something years later in a diary. At one point, they tried to take the gentleman out to try to pinpoint where his grandfather had pointed, but he couldn't walk. So they just picked up his bed and were carting him around and saying, "Where was it?" And he went over there. At that point, that's when they put down that little Plymouth Rock stone, which has been moved also several times. Mm-hmm. It's been moved by people. It's been moved by weather. So the Mayflower did not land on Plymouth
Well,
Rock.
at least the rock had a movement, so. I knew where you were going. Besides,
Did-
rock
did-
had been
did it
invented
try
then.
cranberries?
All they had was Mozart
tried
and rest,
cranberries.
chamber music. There was no rock at all.
It was, well, after the ship would have hit it, the rock would have been Baroque. So
So they were out of money.
Yep.
To make the
that
video.
was a different.
But-
That's a completely different. That's painting. We were classical music.
But
Yeah,
they
we're
made
all over the map.
quite an impression.
Oh.
Somewhere out there is an artist, later somewhere in this room, cringing.
All right, Sarat, I get your point.
Yeah. Oh.
So, well, let's talk about art and artistic depictions of Thanksgiving. Every time we see the tables, we always see what's the big centerpiece for Thanksgiving that's on the
Cornucopia.
table?
Foul.
The cornucopia. The cornucopia.
Oh.
Why is the cornucopia associated with Thanksgiving?
Because it's a
Plentiful.
symbol. It's
Because
a symbol of plenty and
symbol of
bounty.
Plenty.
It is called the Horn of Plenty. The Latin literally translates to Horn of Plenty. You don't have to whisper. You can actually, it's okay. But where did the cornucopia actually come from?
We're going back to that pre-Roman thing, aren't we?
It wasn't Plymouth
No,
No.
it was not Plymouth.
or
was
Macy's.
before that.
Although Macy's
No.
will sell you one.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they will.
It's Wicker.
They made a man with that too.
It goes back to the Wicker people.
Uh-huh.
No, the cornucopia. We have to go back to the ancient Greeks. The idea of it comes from a Greek myth. The myth says that
If you blow in it, more will come.
no,
No.
That's a really different myth.
You missed that entirely.
So, in Greek myth, baby Zeus was being nursed.
Nope, never mind. Here we go.
Yep.
Never mind. Here we go.
Baby Zeus was being nursed by a goat. The goat was
Of
named
course.
Amalthea. During one of the nursing sessions, it said that Zeus broke off one of her horns, and food kept pouring out of it. And that symbol became the Horn of Plenty. That would be a constant source and constant supply of food. From there, the horn became a symbol in a lot of pagan cultures and the harvest festivals
I was
and
going to say
harvest
the Vikings
rituals.
and whatnot. I thought I would
Like
go
in
back
most
to the
pagan cultures in
Right.
Europe.
Yeah, it very quickly spread across. And then, of course, as most pagan things do, the Christians adopted it and added it to a lot of their...
Kind word adopted.
Yeah.
Yes, that's where we'll go with the kindest word.
Yeah, because you didn't argue with Vikings
Although-
about that.
Although I
No.
will say this,
Not really. You didn't win that.
from a
argument.
historical standpoint, there are actually some pagan festivals and whatnot that had actually died out prior to the arrival of Christianity.
I'm sure there were.
But interestingly enough, yes, there are some things in the Christian world that do mimic similarities to the pagans, but that didn't always mean it came straight from
You
paganism.
mean like Christmas, Easter, New Year's?
Everyone
Halloween.
every holiday we have.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah. So,
We also have to remember too that a lot of the pagan things were on a different calendar.
Well, then we're going into Constantine, and that's a whole...
Yeah.
We don't have time for that one tonight.
no.
Yeah. You had to talk to John later.
Well, speaking of time and spending time with people, when would you have had a second Thanksgiving?
The day after.
No, that's your leftovers.
Same thing.
That's sandwich day.
Yes.
No, but this was a time where there were actually 2 Thanksgivings in the same year.
I'd almost say right around Yule.
Well, this was we actually have to go. This is a U.S. history where
Yeah.
Okay.
there was one year.
There was 2 Thanksgivings months apart.
There was one year where there were 2 Thanksgivings,
Yeah, I
Really?
vaguely remember this topic.
and I will say that one was done out of spite.
Cool. So that was
So
the one that-
Connecticut was involved.
Yes.
So we have to go back to the year 1939.
Alan?
Yeah. So
FDR was in charge, and the country was still feeling the effects of the Great Depression.
Right,
So FDR had the idea: let's move Thanksgiving up a week
right.
to give 7 more shopping days to help boost the economy. So he moved Thanksgiving up a week. Only problem was it upset a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
It upset calendar makers, colleges, sports teams, a whole lot, because everybody had planned everything around Thanksgiving.
Well, then and also the NFL had the bowls at the time, and you usually have those big bowls on Thanksgiving.
Not under FDR.
No,
No.
no,
I'm sorry.
that came after.
Later.
Okay,
Later.
got it.
Later.
Yeah,
The ball back in those days was still round.
And the bowls were full of mashed potatoes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were really upset about this. So most people took off the official Thanksgiving, and then they took actual Thanksgiving off.
Yes.
So there was the year 1939. Everybody had 2 Thanksgivings.
That they really weren't happy about.
No, although I think that was ranked as one of FDR's least favored, least looked on things, which it's FDR. So
I mean, his alphabet soup was fine. Yep.
anyway, so every year Thanksgiving comes around, and we always kind of dread the next day, because the day after Thanksgiving is Black Friday. And if you ever worked retail or food service, Black Friday is one of the worst days of the year.
Especially if you're working at
As
a,
Tom and I both have PTSD.
Yeah.
Start doing like this.
especially if it's your first day in retail at a
Oh.
mall. They went, here you go! Like, yeah. Right,
That-
no good. Anyway,
I wonder whose place you were taking.
Yeah.
I know. Oh,
So, my question for you guys is, where do we get the term Black Friday?
Probably some advertiser.
from the bubonic plague.
So, too late, too early.
From all the black eyes you get from fighting over the items.
I mean, that's the modern.
All right, look, if they quit rubbing that stupid turkey bone, they've been all right.
Well, if someone didn't make it all bendy.
I always said it was
Look-
something to do with the blackout day. Like, you're not supposed to.
You're not
Yeah, you're not supposed to.
you're getting close.
Yeah, you're supposed to
So-
get together and.
The term Black Friday has been applied to a few different things throughout the years. The first use of Black Friday that we're able to find goes back as early as the 17th century. Students in college would
It
use,
got dark. It's Friday.
well, students in college would call a Black Friday a Friday when there was a really hard test or exam coming up. And they got used for a bit, and then it kind of fell out until it was used in finance. The first use of it in finance actually goes to 1869. There were 2 investors. There was a guy named Jay Gould and Jim Fisk. They deliberately drove up the price of gold to try to make money and ended up crashing the stock market. And that was the first time that was used in finance. Then in the 1950s and 60s, we have to go to Philadelphia. At that point,
Again?
yes, I know.
The
Is
city
New
of,
York involved?
No, New York's not involved in this.
so at least it's the city of brotherly love
And cheese
on Black Friday. Ugh.
In the 50s
Yeah,
and
but that
60s,
sandwich is good.
Oh yeah.
there a lot of the managers and cops in Philadelphia referred to the day after Thanksgiving as Black Friday because for managers, a lot of people would call in sick to get that extra day off. For cops, there were a lot more people out, plus the Army-Navy game was happening at the same time. So there were more and more people in the city. So you had all of these other people coming in. It wasn't until the 1980s that we saw Black Friday used for shopping. And that actually was companies trying to rebrand the
Right.
idea of it. To say, hey, all these people are coming out to shop, come get all of our great deals and bargains.
So when did it actually become a holiday with Thanksgiving where you basically got the day off, so you could go
Who gets
to
the
it?
day off?
Well, it's
Yeah,
Friday. It's the
yeah.
Friday after everybody's off on the weekend, so they just went, yeah, screw it, it's Friday.
Yeah, but
You
when-
know?
I've worked
Actually
every Black Friday I've ever been employed for.
Yeah.
I
Me
have-
too.
I think most of us,
Who
well,
gets
I've worked quite a few of them, but the last few years running the
But
business, I
It
can,
was
Yeah.
it was a big push to have the
Yeah.
giant sale after Thanksgiving
Uh-huh.
because we had a couple of like minor recessions in the 80s.
Yeah.
So it was a little way of punching up the sales, and
so
that's when they started the nonsense of Midnight Madness sales,
God.
and
Yeah.
you know, around 1986.
And of course, it's funny how it took so long for people to say so, and of course for countries outside of us to look inward and be like, why are the Americans the day after they're thankful and right going into the Christmas season, literally punching and destroying everybody over a gift?
Have you seen Tickle Me Elmo? It laughs.
We're not that bright sometimes.
So the day after Thanksgiving, most people call it Black Friday. What do plumbers call it?
Good Friday?
They call it Brown
Yeah.
Friday.
Oh, Friday.
They call it Brown Friday.
Because
Yeah.
you probably get the biggest clogs coming into the pipes.
And people have dumped a lot of other food stuff down the drain that shouldn't go down there,
Yeah,
and it
a
clogs
lot of
everything.
grease and
Rice.
yeah,
Oh.
rice will do it.
Rice.
Yeah.
So
Rice.
the astute among you will have noticed that was our third round, and that was our fourth question, which normally would be the final question of the night. But it is Thanksgiving, damn it, which means
we have more questions.
the
to
night is
answer.
not done until we have dessert. So I have a dessert question for
I'm
everybody.
on a diet.
Oh, right. I love desserts.
It is one wafer thin question.
Have you seen what happens with that?
I'll eat your
I
dessert.
do.
As long as it's a
You
crunchy
go
frog,
right
I'm good.
So, the dessert question, the final question of the night for everybody, because we have to just stuff one last one in
Pumpkin
before
pie.
we go. It actually doesn't have to do with dessert. I'm sorry. It should
That's
have.
That's
false
just
advertising.
I'm
That's
calling
just
it.
false
I'm
advertising.
calling it the dessert question
That's
because
just
we've had.
mean.
Well, yes, I am.
Okay.
So,
But he's feeling better now, obviously.
Yeah.
my final question for everyone tonight: what is everyone's favorite Thanksgiving song?
Grandma got run over by a reindeer. Oh no.
It literally says Christmas Eve in that song.
Yeah, and
This is a Thanksgiving song.
Oh, okay. Thanksgiving song. It would be.
I know my favorite song that came out about that time, but it's definitely not what's on that card.
I'm gonna say this song was way before that.
Maybe not.
Old Lang Syne.
No.
Good.
So this is a song that was written for Thanksgiving, but everybody sings for Christmas.
And of course they do. We because you know that guy took over everything.
Yeah.
It's not the Pogues about. Let's see.
We're going on a ride in your head that
Yeah.
I think
went
you're
off
the
of
only
that
one
right
I'm
that's
trying to
on.
think of the songs. It's from the Pogues. So the Pogues. It's the one where the.
Pogs? No, Pogs went out in the 90s.
It's on one rail right now.
It's derailing.
What about Porgs?
It's
Were they in Star Wars?
it's the duo who had the piano play. It was a duet. He says.
Is it Charlie Brown's?
No, you're thinking. Are you thinking of "Baby It's Cold Outside"?
No, I'm thinking of.
Paul McCartney and what's his name that did the
No,
yeah, they
No.
did.
no, the Fairy Tale of New York. That's what I'm trying to think.
Is it a
of.
secular song or a Christian song?
Okay, I'm just gonna. This is one of the first songs most kids learn to play. One of the first songs most kids learn to sing.
Jacques.
Chopsticks.
Nope, but you guys are on the right bit. Everyone's favorite
It's
Thanksgiving
a small
song.
world after all.
No,
Let's see, wish
everyone's
you a Merry
favorite-
Christmas.
it says Christmas in the title.
Is Thanksgiving in the title of the song?
No, Christmas is also not mentioned in the song at all in any way, shape, or form.
You're such a turkey. You're such a turkey.
The song is Jingle Bells. Jingle Bells was written as a Thanksgiving song.
Where?
It's on the card. I'm getting
From where
that.
you're from. From where we're from, no.
No, it was written as a Thanksgiving song and became a Christmas song.
Yeah, where you're from.
The song,
Yeah, well.
the song itself, was written by a guy named James Lord Pierpont in 1857. The original title of the song
Right.
was "One Horse Open Sleigh."
Right.
There, in the lyrics of the song, there is no mention of December or
No.
Christmas.
It's cold and it's snowy.
The reports of the song say that it was written either for Sunday schoolers to sing at a Thanksgiving recital or as a drinking song.
Which means Batman smells.
He does.
Now, we
Robin laid an egg.
when they said drinking song, we actually started to look into this, Do you guys know the lyrics to Jingle Bells outside of the main verse?
I
Outside
don't even
of,
know
like,
the main verse.
the dashing through the snow part of
On
it.
her
The Batman spells,
Yeah.
Robin laid an egg.
No,
The hills we go, laughing all the way.
So,
bells and
Uh,
bells ring,
yeah, no, we're
making spirits bright.
You started
You
it.
started this.
Tonight.
Oh, jingle
Okay, so what comes after that?
Batman spells.
No, okay. Batman's not involved!
He is now.
What, Scott, comes after that?
Well,
Please, pray tell.
So-
We're on the edge of our seats in anticipation.
so when you read the actual lyrics of the song and you keep in mind of it being a drinking song, it makes way more sense and does not sound something like Sunday schoolers would sing. Because you
I
gotta
don't know.
remember,
Depends on what Sunday school you went
we are,
to.
we're back in 1857. And the second verse goes, "A day or two ago, I thought I'd take a
Yeah.
ride, and soon Miss Fanny Bright was seated by my side. The horse was lean and lank, misfortune seemed his lot. He got into a drifted bank, and then he got upsot." He was sad. Then it continues, "A day or two ago, the story I must tell, I went out on the snow, and on my back I fell. A gent was riding by in a one-horse open sleigh. He laughed as there I lie, but quickly drove away." And the final verse, which is what clinched it for me more as a drinking song, "Now the ground is white. Go to it while you're young. Take the girls tonight and sing this sleighing song. Just get a bobtailed bay, 240 at his speed, hitch him to an open sleigh, and crack, you'll take the lead."
A sleighing song? This sounds Viking to me.
All I see is the
Yeah.
Which,
I'm
funny
sorry.
enough, they
There
didn't
you go.
really
We're just
have a
gonna link
scene
that at the
all
end.
those
There you
ep-
go.
They didn't have a scene those last two verses when we were kids.
No,
No.
they didn't.
But the first two I
And-
remembered.
And what's funny, right now I'm taking piano lessons, and I found I grabbed the sheet music for Jingle Bells, and if you take it out of its kind of like 4/4 time signature, and you put it into that 3/4 waltz where you get that kind of drunken amble to it, it makes way more sense as a drinking song.
You
Well-
have ruined Jingle Bells for me.
My job here is done.
Wait, so while you're doing
Don't play
that-
anything copyright. We won't be able to air it.
That's okay.
Well, actually, why don't you hang on to that, because it is the time of the night.
Stop running on the treadmill every single day if you're trying to lose weight.
Oh, he's trying to lose weight on the treadmill. Oh
Never
my
mind.
God, does he do it? Does he lose the weight? Don't skip ad. We must know.
No, I don't.
Okay, all
I
right.
don't.
Well, that takes us to the end of the show, the end of the night. That only thing left for us to do is to consult with the
And we
judges
can
in
be
the
thankful
corner.
for the silence on the other side.
Yes, they finally stopped. We will consult with our judges in the corner and see who the winners of tonight were.
The
So,
pork rinds.
Pork rinds. Who gave you the pork
The pork
rinds?
rinds. The pork rinds.
Pork rinds. Yeah, that was me. Ain't Angel.
wow. Okay, backup judge.
That judge is like, no.
Yeah. She's full of pork rinds.
Who are our winners for tonight?
The turkey. The candy jam.
All right,
It
so
was us. Awesome.
the winners for tonight, if you got, why does everybody always pick before I get to decide when I have to? Just for that, nobody wins, which means everybody wins because it's Thanksgiving and we got to stay here instead of spending a forced meal with. Anyway, I hope you guys had fun. I hope you guys learned something. Hope you got something fun to talk about at work tomorrow. On behalf of my panel, on behalf of Angel, Tom, Christy, and Alan, thanks for tuning in. We hope you guys had fun. I've been your host, Scott J. Carroll, and let me ask you this. So, I just want to get... We'll start over.